oi kai kina ke ia.
Oi kai kina kuene pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe ka o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku I hau a he lua ni hau e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe ka o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I ka mai o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe ka o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe ka o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I mo ka I o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe ka o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I la I o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I mau I o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe o la ya ke ani na o a ke o ni a kueli ne o no pe na na I ele a ku a he lua I o e ne pene ke haolo ya ke au ke le lai nei la ka bebe o la ya ke
Vela kahiki.
Puka waine pere I puka pere. O akai karani noke noke. Puka waine pere I puka pere. O akai karani noke noke. Puka waine pere I no milu. O akai karani noke noke. Puka waine pere I no milu. O akai karani noke noke. Puka waine pere kakakurua. O akai karani noke noke. Puka waine pere kakakurua. O akai karani noke noke. Eli eli kaumai, eli eli no. Eli eli kaumai, eli eli no. Amauano, amauano, O akai karani noke noke.
Te me una lei te ai a ka vaine. Vela na ohi au tu I lili ai taua. A vela no pute ai o talua ia.
Hai kumumu ke na ke pa hoi hoi ke.
Ai kumumu ke na ke pohoi hoike. Vela iluna o hale maumauke. Vela iluna o hale maumauke. Ai kumumu ke na ke pohoi hoike. Vela iluna o hale maumauke. Vela iluna o hale maumauke. Ai kumumu ke na ke pohoi hoike. Vela iluna o hale maumauke. Vela iluna o hale maumauke.
Amalu ta palio ka awe ai.
E ala, e ala, e ala.
Noa.
Nori a kai koi o pere.
Uno no hokako. Ano ai ki aloha e naka I ako ako mai o ahu nei. Aloha. O ko mako. Hau oli nui ke ia I ka hiki ana mai, hiki kino ana mai mua o ko e naka. Mai nā kihi e hā o ke ia honua nei. I lawe ke aloha kupuna mai ko mako wahi ailana o ka moko o ke awe. Aina o ka mauna ki e ki e loa o mauna loa. Aina o ke la mauna a mau I te ahi o mauna loa lau o ki lau e a oi. Aina e hu mai ta pele. He aina ola loa no hoi ko mako wahi aina. Wahi ana mo o lelo ke la wā kahiko. O Hawaii ka aina hiapo. O nā pai moku o Hawaii ea. Say yes. But you know nae, ua hiki a kula no mākou, ke ia ohana, ke ia kauhale, mai ko mākou wahi a moku a nui o Hawaii, ma ke ia aina kapu ihi loa o ahu. Oya, no leila e ya kutu no. Kaya aina nei, kahi I hanau I aiau. Tu no. Greetings all for coming. It is indeed our pleasure to share this ha with you. There's no way that you could be sitting here and we're standing here and there's nothing that's being shared, that's being passed across. For a little while we'll be one. You see what I mean? Are you okay, photographer? Okay. We are one. We stand as one. We've come to the center of the ocean to reaffirm what it means to be indigenous and how it is that we're going to help education and academia to become indigenous also. For it is within the indigenous lifeways that this globe is going to be saved. We're less concerned about saving the globe and more concerned about saving our own ancestors. Because the sky is our father. O wa kea kahikulua mea ke la. Keia honua nei. She's our mother. O papa hanau moku. So you see, we have no option but to bring indigenous knowledge into equity in any learning system. Doing it so that we can save our ancestors. That's one of the things we all have in common. Oh, the winds, they're blowing, everything's going down. Anyway, we're from a fire island, the island of Hawaii. And for us, that makes us a little, we approach life very, very differently on our island because every day there's still earthquakes. And at any minute, the sirens can go off and there's a huge wave coming from another part of the ocean and they're going to come right into Hilo, right where we're from. So what do? We live a life founded on that fire. We don't look for real estate much more calmer out there. That's our home. That's where we're born. That's where we're going to die. So live side by side with the fire. The Pele is our ancestor, so who would deny us our ancestor? Before I go on, because they give us 45 minutes to impress the world on some magic. So before I begin the magic, let me begin introducing people. First of all, this is our family. Ano ayaw?
Hello.
In the early 70s, Kekuhi, my wife, the grandmother, great-grandmother of these children here, and some of them there, entered the university system, and not under any political agenda, no religious agenda. She got up one day and says, oh my, these people are functioning here and they have no clue that they're in Hawaii because we haven't informed them of that. We need to get there and begin to help academia understand how to function in a place like this. This was in the early 70s. Her own people told her, what you doing? That place is for foreigners. You shouldn't step there. She said, oh no, it's in Hawaii. It's a Hawaiian place. We are descendants of that philosophy. Standing here, we have administrators from the university system over there. Raise your hand, please. I could call their name, but I always give people wrong names. I get nervous. I might give them more titles than they want to carry. But in any case, we're here because they don't just advocate or believe in things indigenous. They actually advocate for it. They work really, really hard in building committees to look at the policies and update the policies. Open up the avenues. It's not enough to just study, get a degree in indigenous studies. The university system, and they're behind this, needs to be indigenous serving. And so we thank you.
Thank you.
This is my sister-in-law. She's the principal of Ka'umeke Ka'eo Public Charter School. It's a Hawaiian language charter school. That's her. Dr. Hui Hui Mossman. And this is all her kids from the school.
Yay!
These children represent Hawaii Community College and the university system, in many of the things that we do, we're partners. We're not going to wait for them to reach 12th grade to begin to introduce them into the idea of higher education. They begin the education now, they come to the college, and the college goes to them, so there's no boundaries. And then we get plenty more people. Everybody. Yeah, I don't want to call their names. They give me only a little bit time to talk to you. This is my wife, Kekuhi, again. This is my daughter, Naoho. Keahi ka'ai o helo, Naoho nakiahi lapalapa is her name. Keia nei o pele Hosea ka'io. Keia o ke kuhi puone o nāli o kohala haili lani. Kanahele. The baby, the muli. And I am Tangaro. To know you. Ladies and gentlemen, e mawana kamo olelo. To continue our narrative, our stories. What a great reason to come together. What's in a story? You all have stories, we all have stories, we have catalogs of stories. We might have more than others. Others may have, there's just all kinds of stories out there. Some written in the books, some still in families. But what are they for? How are those stories going to assist our students to become successful in the academic journey? Yes, it's great to know all of these 2,000 line chants. But how is that 2,000 line chant going to help you and your family succeed? Yes, it's great to have the chanter who can memorize the chant and can dress really fancy and come on the stage and represent the family. But does it end there? What is behind these stories, and why do we have stories that are 1,000 years old? And moreover, how are those stories going to help us succeed in this context, academia? I only know one really good story. And it's the story of Pele and Hi'iaka. The journey of our fire goddess from Kahiki, outside of the horizon, into the Piko Kahonua, into the center of the earth, the world. She's Pele Honua Mea. So when you have time, jump on a plane, come and visit our island. Come and see your ancestor. Say hello. Offer her your silence. Stop moving, stop talking, don't throw anything into the crater, but give her your silence. For she has a story for you. I know this story quite well, and as I mature, the story changes. And as I look at the audience, the story changes. My daughter says, "You never tell the story the same way twice." So I said, "Why would I?" We look at these stories, and I'm going to just focus these stories down into one thing. How do we use these stories to create a rite of passage, place academia in an indigenous rite of passage? No, we need to do two things. We can't just indigenize academia. We need to indigenize our relationship to academia also. And how the stories help is oftentimes when our students finally they make it into the university system, we don't know how to support them because many of us still in Hawaii have not been in that situation. Many of us don't even enter into the institution because we're afraid that we might become American. And some do, and some don't. What we've done at Hawaii Community College and our sister college, the University of Hawaii at Hilo, has taken our Pele myth, our epic saga, and we have created a model by which we begin to indigenize our philosophy, our thinking, our deep psyche to the academy. It's not enough to have chanters and dancers on your Hawaiian things on academia. That doesn't make it an indigenous college. And indigenous also include how we think about it, how we relate to it. And can we truly incorporate that into our own belief systems? That's really difficult because it wasn't founded here. It didn't originate here. But what we can do is position our mythology, our story, to intercept that and make it Hawaiian. This is how we do it. So Pele left, she leaves Tahiti. For us, Tahiti is any place outside of the horizon. She may have come from your district. Check your stories. It could be really more than just cousins. Okay. She leaves. Why does she leave? Because she outlived her function. She got up one day and she was very disheartened. She's done everything there. And she needed a challenge. So the mother said, get on the canoe. You're irritating us anyway. Get on a canoe and go and find Kahiki. Go and find your father. For us, the kauna or the hidden meaning of to look for your father is to look for your function in life. The mother gives you the biology, the mother energy. The father energy is to assist you in looking for your particular function in life. Go find your father. So she comes over here. The chant that they did here talks about Pele coming all the way down looking for a place because she needs a crater to keep her fires alive. That fire died, the whole family dies. So she comes all the way down, starting from Nihoa to Niihau to Kauai, and then she reaches over here to Oahu, dig a few craters, and say, oh no, I need to move on. She gets to Molokai and Lanai, and there's Maui. She finally finds a crater suitable. It's Hu'ehu'e on our island. There she establishes herself because she journeyed. She saw in her little sister a person needing to journey. The sister's name is Hi'iaka Kapoliopele. When one day Hi'iaka was doing this one dance, and in the dance, Pele got mesmerized, and her spirit separated from her body and journeyed all the way up north to Kauai, and had a little tryst there with one of the chiefs, and then came back and told the sister, woke up and told Hi'iaka. Well, she told all the sisters, one of you need to go up there and get my kane. Don't worry. We share. I'll use them for 3 days, and then you can have them for the rest. It's a true story. How does that relate to academia and success? You'll find out. Get there. So she would ask all her sisters, and all of them are named Hi'iaka. This Hi'iaka says, I can't go on journey up to get your boyfriend, no matter how handsome he is. It's because my back is sore. This one I can't, I have a headache. This one I can't because I have to stay, my job is to do the ava. I can't do anything but the ava. And they all had an excuse why they couldn't journey. The last one left was Hi'iaki Kapoliopele. Hi'iaki Kapoliopele, I need for you to go up to a place you've never been before, but don't matter. In your body is all the knowledge you need to navigate yourself there. Get my lover. Bring him home. Hi'iaka says, I'll do it. So Hi'iaka got ready. They got her all ready. And, Hi'iaka was a very young girl. She never even left her forest. Never left her forest. She had no clue what she was heading into. The other Hi'iakas say, Pele, why did you send her? She's never left the forest. She don't have to do this. She don't have to do that. They were hellowing all the reasons why she should not leave home. You know why they did that? Because they came to Hawaii not on their journey. They came on Pele's journey. These people had no clue how to journey. Their life was being lived. Their story was a life that was being lived on someone else's journey. Therefore, they couldn't see the itinerant right before their eyes. They didn't know how to support that journey. Hi'iaka went up, started her journey. Hi'iaka said, I'm going to go the first. So how does that relate to school? Let me back up there. Many of our people entering into school is entering into the unknown. Yes, they're speaking English, but they're talking in English that nobody understands outside of academia. It's a foreign English. And many of us go to college and say, we must be lolo because they're talking English. We actually say they're talking haole, but we don't understand that. It's a whole different vernacular. Now, some of you will have, in your families, will have people that will support you, and they support you well. There are many others that might discourage you, either directly or indirectly. They might give you more job. They might make more babies so you could stay home and watch the babies because you're the best person to watch babies. There is this very human need to keep family close. But there is a strong spiritual need to release some of them into the world. In releasing them, the spirit gets bigger and that spirit of that family grows. So hi'iaka, the first part of this myth we call the hua. That's the catalyst. There's something that happened in your life, in your narrative, that makes you ponder the life beyond your house, the life beyond your village boundaries. It's a scary feeling, especially if your family does not support that. How do you tell your family, I want to do something different? I want to go out there and I want to do it this way. And they're thinking, oh, but you're going to enter into a foreign institution. There is a dance that we do. Our dances come from the myth. We don't only speak the myth, we dance the myth. This dance speaks to that emotion of how you as an individual, if you remember that day when you got up one day and says, I need to do something different. I need to step in a direction not stepped by my people. We call that academia. This is the emotion. And you're going to see their hands. This is apopoi.
Oh.
This song is saying that the internal emotion is so huge that it's like a big tidal wave coming. And it's coming upland and it's filling the crater, threatening my fire. Is that your story also? The risk that you have to take and fear that may threaten your fire? Something about the hi'iakas. Myth is great because what we're talking about in the outside is actually living in the inside. The hi'iakas were not really Pele's other sisters. They were facets of the same person. All of them finding reason why you shouldn't and why you can. So we're not talking about anyone else. We're really talking about the fullness of you. This is apopoi.
Ai, e kau no hia kai koio pele, a popoi.
Popoi haki kei ko tarua haki ku haki ke kala taino paya tuli o lewao kania hi tu e vai ne lewa o sauno to po ai lai ta po atu ita uolo ate ai ta unu akapulena okita motu papa kaina ha talani kai ko ka mauna tambona popo ijilo halelo papa la o mai be io nakino ta kiki kawa mai kala ni ta onua ika ola ie kai kuwa kapoha koele umai puna ati akaulu o ta opua pue humai lauka o ke ahialaka pau ije o ai vela o tarua
Oh, yeah. So this dance helps us. Now we're in the first phase of the myth, the hua. This is just the catalyst that gets you to think, entering into this journey. These are the emotions as we represent them in dance. How the hands are flinging around, trying to interpret what's going on. And in that chaos, the dance reminds us, all you need to do is aiha'a. Come down to your closeness to earth. You'll find calmness there. Isn't that a lovely thing? Now, these dances are being done, but I'm thinking, why are we going to do these dances? They should help our students succeed. So that's why this is what our curriculum looks like. It's hard for the curriculum committee to accept stuff like this, but they'll come around to it eventually. And now the separation begins. You actually fill out all your applications and perhaps your financial aid came in. You're nervous because you know you're going to take that journey and your family won't follow you in. It's a lone journey. There's a saying, Olelo I keaka ka huakai, ka hele ho'okahi. Olelo I keaka ka hele ho'okai. That's what it says. The person that journeys alone has only the shadow to speak to. So even though plenty of people in the canoe, the college, you're really supposed to begin interpreting, you're really supposed to begin carving out your own story. We might be on a shared canoe, but you have your own relationship that you bring to that paddle. And you're going to hoy that canoe. The separation is very scary for many of you, many of us. But you see, it's necessary. Hi'iaka could not journey with a lot of people with her because then you have too many stories that's conflicting. Hele ka hele ho'okai, olelo keaka ka hele ho'okai, meaning that Hi'iaka had to find her primary identity within herself. We're not talking about our people outside of our bodies. We're talking about the plural people in our body. She had to find one of them that was going to take the course, that was going to be the kia'i, that was going to guide this journey. The separation is interesting because this is the first time for many of us you're in the system. Very, very foreign system. It smells different. There's actually toilet paper in the roll. People don't necessarily smile like at home. They're so busy, and people assume you know before you come to the counter how you need help. It's a hard thing to even ask for help where I come from, much less assume that, how can I help you? I don't know how to help you. How can you help me? I don't know. Can you just help me? It's a whole different communication.
Yep.
This chant, Kualoloa ke au I kana hele hele, reminds us it's one of the oldest chants we have in our family repertoire. It's as ancient as you can tell the ancient dances, they're really simple. It tells us that before you even begin journeying, do you know what your outcome is? Don't begin your journey and you don't know what your outcome is. We say, oh, the naka na'au no e alaka ia oe. Oh, the intuitive sense is going to guide you. But the intuitive sense needs to know what the goal is. Or it's going to spin you around. So if you know what the goal is, if you clarified your vision, then your intuition knows how to push you toward that vision. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes we tell our students, what's your vision? What is that? We're weird for some reason to think that our life is to fulfill other people's vision, whether family or somebody else outside the family. The idea that we can have our own vision is scary to many of us. But Hi'iaka, you see, when she began her journey and she began separating, just left her forest, her first obstacle was a mo'o, a water spirit. The people in that area says, Hi'iaka, you either got to go all the way down the ocean, or you got to go all the way up Mauka. Hele makai hele Mauka. But you cannot hele ivaina konu. Aohe puka e hemoai oi. You cannot go right in the middle. No more door for you. Hemo, go outside of this enchanted forest. You can die. So Hi'iaka goes, but if I go all the way up Mauka and I go all the way, or Makai, I'm going to be delayed in my journey. She had only 40 days to fulfill her journey. We have 2 years and somewhat months to get our 2-year degree. We need to get it within that time. She started her journey and she said, no, I need to go right through this forest. I'm going to change the tradition here. Again, we're not talking about the outside world. This is an internal story that's happening, an internal narrative. What does it mean? I'm going to change the tradition. It's the tradition of my people to go right or go left, but I need to go right in between. How do you do that? You got to wait till the elders die, perhaps? But eventually you'll be that elder. How do you change that? So Hi'iaka placed the vision. And what she did was she danced and chanted the vision. I'm going to come out to the other side of this forest and I'm going to succeed. I don't care what happens inside because I know I'm going to succeed and I'm going to dance to that success.
Ai, kualoloa ke au I kana hele hele.
Jualolo je hui tanai le le ala ku hu pandai vai ta la no tama ta o ai ju che pa de pa tama o de le hu a po hindai ta vela a che jua wa hi bunai ta o lo ka po a ju na pe ye ta vai ne na na wai ta pa pa o lu e mo mo hu hi buna la ye bu ai ai I will
Oh, yeah. Again. Oh. Again, we call in many of our chants, you'll hear, Hey Noa no Hi'aka Poliopele. It's in the name of Hi'iaka that I stand and dance. And for us, it means I become Hi'iaka again, and I dance this narrative. Now, Hi'iaka did what people didn't do, ever did. She went into that unvisited region, the lost region within her body, the deep, deep unconscious where all your best dreams live, but you're too afraid to step in there because there's things that are going to eat you. So you live the surface dreams. But in that deep, enchanted forest in our bodies are the deepest, most fertile dreams. She had to penetrate it. She had to wage battle. It wasn't an external battle, it was an internal battle. How do we position this story in academia? Many of us, because we're stepping into foreign territory, we're ready to battle. What? We like fight everybody. And then the higher you go in graduate school, or you like your committee, they're calling you out. Is the battle really outside of our bodies only? We have to deal with the internal battles. If we don't deal with the internal battles, we'll be always looking for the culprit. I live like this because of you. Versus, I may live like this because I've discovered in that enchanted forest, I had to kill a few mo'os to get there. But there was a gem. And that gem helped me to manifest my vision. Now, what if our students were told this before they even entered, as part of their entry into the system, that they will be told an ancient story with application? Sometimes they don't want to listen to a lecture, the ears just go off. But if you tell a story, you see, the body responds differently. They begin to hear with more than just their ears. So what if the new student, you tell the student through this story that you're designed to do something new. You're catalyst. It may have been some family drama that made you consider a new life way. Or maybe some political strife that's affecting your village that made you consider this. But in any case, there's a catalyst, and you're it. What if our students are told, you're designed to be afraid because you're entering into a rites of passage where we can't follow you. This journey is designed so that you will face all of your strengths and, more importantly, all of your fears. You'll face them in the eye, and you'll wage battle with that. The fear of success. That's the battle. That really, when you enter into this new world, the people that you look at are really just reflections of yourself. So if you really like that person really is reflecting something you like of yourself. But if you're looking at the ugliest thing you saw in the world, and that person is holding your transcript in hand, I suggest you begin changing your relationship to that feature. Because you can. It's like any nightmare. My daughter once tells me, Daddy, what do you do with nightmares? I said, stop running. Face them. nightmares had something to tell you. They're a story. They're a dream with a story. They wanted to tell you something, but you've been running away for a few months. She's only that young. And if you keep running, the nightmares are going to get more nightmarish. And before you know it, your life will become that nightmare. What do, Dad? Stop. Huli hope. Face that nightmare in the face and say, what do you need of me? If you have a story that I need to continue, then can you take on a different face? Because right now you're too ugly for me to look at, much less listen to. That can be applied to school. Because we're trained to like people that we can relate to and trained not to like people we can't relate to. We're rarely ever trained to know that even the most ugliest people that look nothing like us and act like us, and ugly not just in features, but maybe in what we call pupuka. Their energy is just really on a different scale. But if you can begin a relationship with that entity, with that person, and know that in that person is a part of you, that's where you begin that relationship, because that monster has something you need, you see. So when it's the third time in the math remedial class that you have to take, and it's messing up your financial aid, and it's the same teacher, yeah, she's probably thinking the same thing, oh my goodness. But begin anew, look at her anew. She may not be your enemy. That's not her story though, that's your story. She might have something that you need. Face that dream. Face that nightmare. Now you're in college, you're a full-fledged student, and you're journeying. What if we told our students, when you come to college, again, you're going to face people that look like you, and they will reflect your same values, and you're going to immediately go toward that direction. But then you'll find in your journey, like in any enchanted forest, all the monsters and the dragons and everything else. You have those stories in your area. What if our students are told that the pleasant instructor is as valuable as the non-pleasant instructor? That even when Hi'iaka journeyed, she was not faced with just her fairy friends. She was faced with her demons that she had to deal with. It was the travails that got her to think differently and see differently and mature her above that of those that did not journey. It wasn't just the pleasantries of the journey, it was the hardship. If we were told that before we entered school, how would you react in that classroom when you're looking at that teacher and there's nothing you can relate to? You can't afford these days to keep changing your degree. Sometimes the perceived goblin, mo'o, is our own people. And we say, that person's Hawaiian, why are they treating me like this? Does it really matter what the person is at times? Are all of our ancestors pleasant people? There were some tutus we dodge. As soon as we see them, aloha, and we're out of their space because... And then when they die, do you think they resurrect or transmigrate into something pleasant? The energy is still the same. That's the tutu you kind of put food really quick and you move on. That's the tutu you very careful who you name after that tutu. Because if you name the baby after that person, the person can come back again. We need to begin to lessen the fear factor in education. And we cannot be picking up other people's models. We cannot be picking up models that's created in the East Coast of America. They don't fit us. They were not designed for us. Use our own models, our own myth. Because when the student understands that, hey, Hi'iaka and Pele went through the same rite of passage, that academia is your enchanted forest, we're going to begin to relate to that very, very differently. I'm from Ko'olaupoko. I was born, my piko is still in Mokuola. Okay. We call them Mokuola, but they call it the kind of Mokuli'i. Yeah, the island over there, the small island, they call the Papalipake. No. But there's an island, Mokuli'i, over there, we call Mokuola. And that's where they put the piko of the babies there. So the baby will always know that that's where you're connected. Well, anyway, this dance that speaks of Hi'iaka's journey. When she journeyed through here, because she had to pass through here to get to Lohi'au. She had to pass through Ko'olau, the Ko'olau Poko, the windward regions, was storming. In fact, she wasn't sure because the rain was salty in her eyes. It took her a while to realize she was in a hurricane, that the ocean was actually inland. It was just washing. And as she took a step forward, that ocean was pushing her back. And I remember this kind of phenomenon, elemental phenomenon, because the cliffs are right here, the ocean is right here, and then when that waves come, it just rolls like this. So it looks like the ua po'iana mehinalula. The rain is just going like a wave, breaking like a wave. It gets all chaotic. You don't know what is upland, you don't know what is downland. This is Hi'iaka's journey. And as she goes forward, it pushes her back, but she has to persist forward. Again, that piece of the story is an internal one, because oftentimes we want to give up. Because we feel a little pressure, we want to give up. No, you kick your feet forward, you go forward. And they do this kavele. You're going to see this. This step is called a kavele. Kavele means to clear the ground. Nobody going to clear them for you. They might leave some stuff over there for you stumble. You clear them with your own feet. And when the wave pushes you back, you push them back. You just keep dancing. You're going to arrive. This song celebrates that piece of the rite of passage.
Ai, akola o ai ke kaua.
Atole wai te tau e kokolo ale po mai ana tau. Atole wai te tau e kokolo ale po mai ana tau. Kai ku ana kai mai ana tau e nu mai ana tau e te tuai. Vali vali te hei e tau o kahaba. Vali vali te hei e tau o holo kahaba. Haya tavaila i te ilio, elio hei he lahune puka.
Eiwe. Hei no no Hi'iaka I kapali o pere.
Oh, yeah. The word puka also for us means to graduate. So that's what the journey is about. You're going to have classes that allow you to go forward, and you have classes that's going to push you back. You're going to have those advisors and those counselors and administrators that will support you move forward, but then there's all those that will linger on the old policies. That doesn't work anymore, but it's a policy, you see. And it keeps you from going forward. But you keep persisting and you will graduate. You will puka. And even though the dog is biting at your heels, you will puka. We need to use this model in encouraging our students. You see, it ain't gonna work if we get it from the East Coast. Use our own dances and our own stories, because then it's their story. And if it's their story, they can extend that story. Okay? Jack and Jill does not always go up the hill where we're from. It's too tapu. Anyhow, you graduated. This is the scary thing now. All your old, in this area, so we have hua, the catalyst. We have that ha'alele, the peace in our rites of passage where we have to separate from community and journey on our own. There's that hua kai where you're in that dream and you're meeting with all of your fairies and your demon people. And you have to build a relationship with that individual so that the monsters don't appear as monsters anymore. You have to look at people as if you're looking at yourself. If you're going to invest in a relationship, you want to make sure the investment is partially yours. We could have used that when we got married the first time round. But in any case, they weren't prepared for that one. Anyhow, so now you graduate. In the rite of passage, there is always a death we call the make. You're designed, the rite of passage is designed to enter you into a make. You're supposed to have entered into the rite of passage academia with all of your biases, you know the world. But as you exercise, as these exercises, as the people you meet along the way in your program begin to reinform you and teach you how to research and how to think and how to critically look at the world, your old biases die. That's the make we're talking about. And the new biases come up. And you know, that process is not because you graduate, that means all your biases are intact for the rest of your life. They evolve with every child you have. The way you look at your world will change again. There, the make, you have all these new information. You're coming home. And you know what? Your family don't know your journey. And not like you can go home and talk to some of your people about the things that you've experienced because they were not there to share that with you. They don't share the same language. You're taught a different way to think. You're taught a different way to communicate, how to articulate. How do you use that for your family? And here it is. Oftentimes we're challenged. You come across a challenge. When Hiyaka journeyed up and got the kane and was working her way back down, she had to face her sister. Hiyaka's journey introduced Hiyaka into her deepest self, we call akua. She became into her center, her profound, her potential. She went into the core of her potential. She was not the same person that left the forest. She was a different person, fully matured. Her right and left brain functioning fully. She saw her world different. She had to come back, you see. There's a battle in this. And you may die again. The battle is now you have to face your family. You have to face your community. You have to face your nation. What is it your education has equipped you with to contribute? And not all of those contributions are going to be welcomed. But is it really the outer world that you're challenging, that you have to fight? I tell you, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, the battle is internal. You're no longer the kid. You're a functioning, full-fledged adult. And you need to begin contributing to your community. And you need to do it in a way that is accountable. Because in our world where we live in, you make a mistake today, they're going to remember that mistake for 7 generations. They might even name a baby after that mistake. And then they'll write songs and stories and they tell you, we don't try to make errors. We don't want to make errors because they make music over here. You enter into people's story systems. And they'll always say, oh, who you were going to marry? Oh, you know that person's great-great-grandparent? You know what they did? And that's a story that comes down. That happens everywhere. Hiyaka's journey, the story says that she had to fight her sister. They had to come together and they had to beef it out. Payo, challenge each other. But really, this is mythology. She had to fight with her previous perception of her relationship with her sister. She had to grow out of the idea that Hi'iaka will always be the junior. She had to function shoulder to shoulder with her sister. The sister, you see, Pele, because Pele journeyed, refused to have journey with a junior. Who wants to travel with someone always your junior? At one point, that person has to stand up and take the helm of that canoe also. We do 3 dances, 1 chant. Kekui's chant, it talks about this paio. It's a raging chant of Pele and Hi'iaka, really about the Pele and Hi'iaka in the body of Hi'iaka. The paio that we have to enter once we graduate, that last battle. And then when the battle ends, the spirit is supposed to leave and fly. So we do a dance that releases the spirit, and you see the dancer going all over the place. And the last dance we do is a procreation dance, a dance about celebrating life, making babies. We'll talk about how that fits in academia. This is it. Ai kui vai lua ka pau hale.
Tui veilua tapauhale, taipuholo no I taualo, avavanui e ulupo, aole walomai e, aloha nui kaikua mahona, elehela kamakawau, o kahinalo, ayamanaka o kaio, kawele awa o kaio, kawele ai e, te olula ka ahu o tau, I tamatani te puia e la ke ale kumupani ka, doa po te ha koko kani. Payaha kambakani uki uki oko kelele akekai lele walele o tamatan o ole wainde o tamoa etu lele walele kavalele akulele mai lele o io lele o puhile lele o kauna ka o hi akai ku
No ka wakai no Hi'iaka ka poli o Pele. Ai no paha e kai noa.
Kai kuana no paha e tainoa a kau I tanutu a pai te ti I laila tu tama o tomo ai loko a o ale mau e mau na pue ola nei e tulipe e nui ai ahua e pele pele huina hoi tu itala ni pa e a huila no paha e tai no ai te ti pai te ti he I la tu tama o tom e loko o hale ma u he ma u na pu e ola nei e tuli pe nui ala hua e pele na ho I atu e tala ni pa e huila no paha e tai no hai no
Is it on? Aye. Oh, well. So this is it. Thank you for allowing me to dance. I didn't ask, I would just dance anyway. So what we've done was we've taken our most sacred myth, the myth that we build our intergenerational lives on, and we've entered this myth as a process for student success, as our contribution to indigenizing the system, but really indigenizing our psychology, our psyche, as how to relate to this. We have to make the journey Hawaiian, you see. We cannot understand that all the tuition is paid for a foreign journey. It has to be a Hawaiian journey for us. So we've taken our most sacred myth, and we've done that. People might ask, why? And my question is, why not? Why would I go borrow somebody else's myth? Build a life off of their myth when we have our perfectly own myth that we dance, we chant, we eat, we name our babies after. It's our whole lifestyle, so use that to help our community succeed. That's what we do. Now, your story. How many of you are a university, college student? Raise your hand. Yay. How many of you are in graduate school? Raise your hand. Demons there, huh? Anyway. How many of you are in the system as an instructor, an advisor, or something? Oh, look at all of you. This is for really you. You think we're talking about student success as we use myth to help us define that rites of passage. Really? I was speaking to you, not to the students. My question to you, ladies and gentlemen, that work for any system whose opportunity it is to affect the lives of the people coming into your doors, is what is your story? Why are you standing in that room? Why have you inhabited this part of the forest and not that part of the forest? What's your story? You see, we want to help people define their story, but we don't know, we've left our own stories at home. Working so hard to get through the tenure process, we forgot our own stories. We thought the tenure process was our story. It's not. We thought all of these roles that you take on, we think sometimes that academia is our story. Ladies and gentlemen, academia is not your story. It should not be your vision. You should be waking up to something a whole lot bigger than just your job. To tell a good story is to create a good vision. If the vision is good, other people will sing your song because the vision help them clarify their own vision. We have this tradition in Hawaii. We can tell when the singer gets to the end of the song because they always talk about ha'ina mai kapuana. Or, ha'ina mai kapuana is, so what is the refrain? What is the last message that you want to issue from your mouth? What is your last thoughts? My question to you, ladies and gentlemen, and to me, of course, is when we have to moy, when we have to be laid down for a final sleep because our body is tired and it needs to go, what are they going to say about you? What storyline do you want them to say? Academia is a great opportunity to be in. It allows us to affect the lives of many, many people. That's a great job to wake up to, but that should not be your vision. It should assist you in fulfilling your vision. The vision should be for a better world, a stronger spiritual community. We need to be able to look at you and see ourselves in that, and not say this indigenous issue is that indigenous issue because we have no relationship to them. No, we're related. That's why when we honi, we put nose to nose together and we breathe to remind us that we're relative. That's where your vision should be. Academia can help place very strong people there to help further that vision. Don't leave your vision home or your dream at home. Bring it to work. Use it to engage with the people you engage with, you're employed to engage with. What is your ha'ina? What is the world going to know of you? This is serious. When you're in your 20s, you don't really care what your ha'ina is because you're still working on your first verse of life. When you're in your 50s and 60s and you start getting up there, you begin to look at the quality of that ha'ina. And for some of us, we don't even, life just goes by so quickly, we haven't even considered how to create our ha'ina, the closure to our story. You're in Hawaii. It's one of the most sacred places in the middle of the ocean. Hawaii is synonymous with the spirit. You're in a place of spirit, ladies and gentlemen. Wake your spirit up. Feed your spirit while you're here in Hawaii. Learn from each other. Take your spirit for a swim if you know how to swim. If you don't know how to swim, don't go in the water. Take your spirit for a swim. If you have an opportunity to go inland, go and look at all the ancestors and feel them in the mountaintops. They're there waiting to say aloha to you. Be very well, ladies and gentlemen. We have them here because we need for them to know that one day they'll be standing here and they'll extend their story, but it has to be their story, not my story. I stand here because I have a verse to a story that may have been started by my parents or my grandparents or the people in my community. We add that story. Maybe the ha'ina will never come because we live a good story. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for being present. Mahalo. Want to thank our system leaders for, this is a good time to be in academia. There's so many changes that are happening that will benefit all. And we want to salute them back there, mahalo nui, and tuhui hui, public charter schools taking a lot of the cultural lead in our community. We want to thank all of these people that came and all the funders. So when they asked, Tangaro, we need for you to be the keynote speaker, I said, but, we don't say no in Hawaii. We just give them reason to reconsider the question. So they say, oh, I kind of expensive because I come with a big village. Thinking they would say no. But guess what? The village is here, and it has been my pleasure being in your presence. In closure, ladies and gentlemen, we sing. We want to add a little gift to your song, to your story. Write a poem about your visit in Hawaii. There's magic waiting for you.
Of him?
Pau.
Pau, pau e inu na o ku mauna, a me laka, a me hui kawa, a me hina me lelani, a ua pau kako, a ua noa ke kahua, ai, kulu kamakia kahua ka I hele mo ipo, kuau hele no ho e aloha. Aloha na hale o mako I maka ole ke ala nui hele mau ka o huli valela huli a e anai ka ala na ole he ka nai aku ya o ia no I ke ka nai ke ia wahile o hele o ke kunau ha ke ia ka hua nei no a pau no hoi a hele o vale no